My mic test 1 2. We recording. And on that note, I think we can go ahead and get started. What's going on, everybody? First things first, I want to thank everyone tuning in through our Zoom call. I want to thank everyone who's tuning in via Instagram Live. And I want to welcome you to the 4th edition to Meeting of the Minds. Now, in case you don't know already, Meeting of the Minds is a centralized discussion, open discussion where we talk about issues or situations that are currently going on with us around the world and really just kind of nail into those topics and open up the conversation here so that we can move with the proper information going forward. So this edition of the Meeting of the Minds is based off of, it's a continuation of where we were last week, which was based on starting a degentrification project. What I have here is I actually have some of those slides pulled up from the very last one, where we went over what degentrification is and what that looks like in communities not only here in Los Angeles but anywhere around the United States. And how does degentrification help us building generational wealth, adds character to the land of which you frequent on a daily basis, and it also builds our economic buying power. So saying you own 2 properties worth $250,000, that's a combined total of $500,000. You have an equity that you can use against that property to make another move or to make a bigger investment. So these little things like that, I feel just as far as my younger generation is not well known, or if it is known, we're just now starting to talk about it. So again, the me and the Minds is here to open up these conversations just to get that ball rolling. And we actually went through a step-by-step plan of what we would do to acquire a building and get said information and go from there. Which leads us into the main topic I want to get into of today's Meeting of the Minds, which is about perseverance in voting. Now, over the last month, we didn't get a property. We merely are starting to scratch the surface, and it's easy to get discouraged, I feel, in the process of doing these actions because it's new. Some people may not get it. Some people could get it and may want to just completely ignore the fact of what you're trying to do because it's, for whatever reason, their own personal agenda. But I really feel like this Meeting of the Minds is probably more important than any other one because it's not necessarily just me trying to bring information. It's to share my real life experience of, we didn't reach a point, our goal in month 1, but how are we going to act on month 2? What are we going to do in this next month to push forward? So that being said, I want to talk about and bring to light the things that we did actually accomplish and what we did do. So the main thing we started on was acquire capital, which involved looking for investors. I actually got the opportunity to speak on a platform called NBAN. NBAN is a Black civil rights group who they were sort of in line of what we're trying to do, and they have a bigger audience. They've been doing it since 2001, I believe.
Wow.
And yeah, so theirs is a weekly conference call where people hop on the phone every Tuesday, and they would have guest speakers on, and they would explain what they're here to bring. I've heard a couple. I've been a part of 2 now over the last month, and I got to talk to many investors and many influencers, writers, poets, and people of all different sorts of backgrounds that I was able to articulate myself to in what I'm trying to do with Meeting of the Minds. They gave me so many great, useful tools going forward. That being said, I'm here to actually go even harder on finding said investors, because even though they gave me the knowledge, they wanted me to, the one thing I really took away from is they want to actually put in a little bit more groundwork before they would feel comfortable. So moving forward with me. So that being said, I do want to just re-articulate the GoFundMe that has started for me in the mind in starting a degentrification plan. I personally set the goal of acquiring $5,000 to be able to use as leverage to put down on a piece of property, ideally here in Los Angeles. I will be continue to push that in the next months going forward, and that's a great way for anyone who wants to have a voice or who wants to contribute to the cause of Black Lives Matter or anything of that sort. By contributing to this, I believe will set forth and help this platform that we are currently trying to build to be able to articulate in your voice being heard. I say all this because I've talked to a lot of people, particularly in my job, particularly in a lot of these artists and producer group chats that I'm in, and there was an open discussion that we had that it was, this guy's going through depression, and he talked about how there was in his city another cop killed another Black man, and he said that just didn't help him. It made him feel even more enraged. And as we got to talk a little bit more, he opened up and said it's because he doesn't feel like he can do anything. He's depressed. He makes music. He does all this stuff, but he doesn't feel like he wants to be a part of something bigger. But the thing is, a lot of people don't know how. And if you remember from last week's Meeting of the Minds, it has to do with a lot of people who are reactive instead of proactive. This still falls under that same category. They're waiting. He even said, "I'm tired of retweeting stuff. I'm tired of liking stuff. I want to do something physical."
Wow.
So all I can say is, if you feel that way, if you can relate to that, I'm here to be be the beacon of light to let you know, hey, I feel the same exact way, but this is the way I'm utilizing a platform to showcase a step-by-step process that's going to go about and change even more than just my benefit or Crenshaw's benefit. You can use these same steps in more rural areas such as Middle America, Wyoming, any of these other places that we're not at. This is a bigger city market. Is going to be a lot more competitive, and I'm up for the challenge, but I don't want my challenge to go in vain. I want to document this step-by-step process for you guys. So that's all I have to say on the whole entire GoFundMe, how the GoFundMe relates to the Meeting of the Minds and the degentrification plan as we have set going forward. I will say over the next month, I will be trying to reach out to more churches, personally have meetings and sit downs with other investors here in Los Angeles that I've been connected to through InBand and other personal connectors. And lastly, in that I want to bring up in this whole entire piece of acquiring capital, I wanted to bring up a new piece of revenue stream that was brought to me. So as you may already know or have heard of, you may have heard of a new trend called Forex, right? Forex trading. I'm not here to promote none of it because genuinely, from my perspective, if you don't know anything about it, it is about foreign exchange and trading on the ups and downs of how that fluctuates. I look at it as sort of the stock market for the everyday dollar in different countries. And Forex till now had been the gateway into that market, but it seemed as more a pyramid scheme than an actual revenue source or a secondary revenue source, third revenue source for me to be comfortable investing in. Actually, in that being said, I found a new thing, a newer website through my connections and through these meetings and talks with other investors called TransferWise. TransferWise is a direct what we gonna call this? A direct website that deals with foreign exchange trading. As you guys can see here, I have a link to where you can sign up if you're interested, or if you've been approached by a lot of people in Forex and you didn't know if it was shady or not. I got the opportunity to learn about this, and I don't think I would ever talk to someone in Forex again, because their whole entire thing is based off of being in a school of knowledge full of people doing the same thing. But for the risk that you're going to take in investing in all these different currencies that could up and down fluctuate, why not skip the middleman and go straight to a website that deals directly in how you like to trade and spend for money? So I can honestly say the process of signing up for TransferWise is not complicated at all. It's very straightforward. And yeah, so I've been rolling with them for about a week. There's still things I have to set up on my end, but if my main point is this: if you're looking for an extra stream of capital, which I'm trying to find to be able to fund Meeting of the Minds, and you've been also approached by these people in Forex talking about foreign exchange trading and you're not sure how legitimate it is, the alternate solution that I'm here to offer you that I found out would be TransferWise. So if I were to click this link, let me see if it'll take me there. I'll show you a little bit. Loads up. You can see the history in which you go after currency. They had to refund me back this, but as you can see, I invested $20 and it would have gave me back a certain amount in IDR, which is a Dominican foreign exchange, which at the time was going for about 200,000 in their currency for just $20. So here's the example if you were just opening up yourself if you log in. But I think this is a gem. And if you've been approached by these Forex people, it's definitely an alternative. So going forward, the next topic I would like to talk about is voting. As you know, November 3rd, the most consequential election that we've had probably to date is in our hands. No matter where you kind of stand right now, I'll be honest, it's been strange air here in Los Angeles when it comes to the whole entire election. And it almost seems like people are just going day by day, awaiting, knowing that, we're going to vote for so-and-so, or we got to do so-and-so, but no one's taking either the proper steps or the action. And I'll be honest, even with COVID, I understand, because what action can you take? And that's a lot of questions people are asking. But I think the most important thing that we can do for ourselves right now is just study up on the information that is provided to us and make sure you're registered to vote. So I wanted to just at least go over real quickly about registering to vote and receiving your ballot, because this will actually be the first ever election that I am voting. This will be my first ever one.
Oh, cool.
So in this particular election, right, I'll be honest, I didn't vote in 2020, not 2020, but 2016. It was because I just turned 18 and I was looking at two candidates that I truly just did not find any type of relation to. And in me feeling that I was too inexperienced to just jump straight in and make a decision, I stayed silent, and I've seen how it fell over these last 4 years.
Yes.
I've definitely made a concerted effort to be a little bit more prepared this time going around. But when I was 18, I was registered to vote in Texas. So I had to redo my whole entire process here for Los Angeles. And I'll be honest, I'm still actually going through it at this exact moment as we speak. But I wanted to use my experience to be able to bring that and show that to you guys on how not only I registered to vote here in Los Angeles, but the tools that you may need if you are on the fence about voting, if you think the process may be a little difficult, or, it's all these different websites telling you to register to vote through them and you don't know what's legitimate. So I'm here to erase all of that, gray area. So first things first, you gotta register. So here in Los Angeles, there is a website called registertovote.ca.gov, which is the actual California government website to register to vote. And you can check, I mean, you can register on there, you can check your status, the whole nine. But if say for instance you're in a different state, I recommend just going straight to www.vote.org, which you will get to this screen, which will tell you the exact time frame in which the election is to take place on November 3rd, and all your different options and resources for your area to not only find a poll, where you can vote early, how you can vote by mail, and how to register. So definitely take those steps in what you need. But currently in my situation, I registered to vote, but here in Los Angeles, they were supposed to mail out the ballots by the 14th, and I have yet to receive mine. I mean, what's that, a whole week after? Yeah. So I called up to my representative here on the registertovote.ca. It took me to my House of Representatives here in Los Angeles, and I got on the phone with them to figure out the situation. I honestly thought, because this is my first time registering here in Los Angeles, that I had fallen under the rug. I had all my numbers and receipts, and I just wanted to make sure that all that was situated before I go any further. That got situated, and from there, they told me I had two options. I could wait up to 8 to 9 days to receive my ballot. I can go to the poll, or I can go and pick up my ballot from the elections office. And I think that picking up the ballot from the elections office, especially right now with COVID, is the best option. So I want to also show the process in which I did that. So cool. On the registertovote.ca.gov site, there was a link for the county elections office, and it takes you there, and it breaks up California in all its different counties in alphabetical order. Now, if, say for instance, you don't want to take all day to find your county that you live in, let me tell you the shortcut. I went here on the main page, I pressed Control F, and that allows you to keyword search anything on the screen. So say for instance, you're on a certain page and you want to know how many times the word vote was said. You can type in Control F, type in vote, and everything becomes highlighted. Everything, like here on my screen, here. It probably won't even let me, but here, like that vote will be highlighted. Vote anywhere else will be highlighted, so on and so forth. The vote over here would be highlighted in all these different boxes, and it will also even give you a count of how many matches that you would have. I learned this because actually this was a way at one point how teachers would find plagiarism.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
cool.
It's been an interesting trick that I've learned on, especially when I'm looking for information fast, and looking for probably the more accurate piece of dialogue throughout a big piece of text. And you can do this for anything, PDF documents, the whole nine. So I digress. So I typed in Los Angeles to find my county that I'm in, and it would appear just like this. It may be green, it may be yellow, but it highlights the words that you're looking for in the exact context. So here you can find out that this is my information from my elections office here in Los Angeles. Gives me the actual Dean Logan, the actual registrar, he's the county clerk, gives me the exact address of the office, the mailing address, the phone number, and the hours of operation, plus their own personal website and their email if I would have any more questions. So I'm actually planning on Monday to go down to this location, wait in line, tell them, hey, I'm here to pick up my ballot for the 2020 election, and they will issue me one, and I will be able to go on my way. And then that also gets me into the different drop boxes they have here in Los Angeles, which I think is the most secure way to get your vote across, because I'm not really trusting the whole entire mail-in thing. I don't want to mess with that, but at least know if I were to give it to a drop-off box, it's a government designated piece of material. It should not be damaged. It should only be collected and maneuvered to its location. So here in Los Angeles, there is one in Lamar Park. I've seen one in Hollywood, but I will, as I continue to travel around to Los Angeles these next couple weeks, post that to my Media the Minds Instagram, so that at least you guys here in Los Angeles will know where to go in said fashion. So that is actually it that I've brought to today to the meeting. I want to leave it open for discussion. If anybody were to have anything to say, if there's anything that we may have forgotten that you feel like is important for not only voting, but the importance of perseverance, I'm open. I'm here to listen. So
well, could you define what perseverance is in your own words?
Sure.
Okay.
I think perseverance has to do with being able to overcome any obstacle that is set in your path, no matter the circumstances, no matter the ball and chain they put on your ankle, no matter if your arms are handcuffed around behind your back. What are you going to do to either get out the situation or move forward in your situation in the most successful way possible for you and your team?
That's a great definition.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's a great definition. That was me understanding the word more. Not saying I didn't know what it meant, but it's just good to have other people's perceptions. Point of views, But I think that you're doing a great job with these meetings, because I'm mad I missed the last one, but I'm not going to try to do that again. But it helps out a lot when you have a voice, but you don't know where to, kind of put it, so to speak.
100%.
And so when somebody comes along like you, like-minded people, you can kind of like grow together and interconnect together. So this place is a safe haven for for right now, to discuss all those things. So when we get out more into it, like into the public eye, then we can speak, coherently, better, correctly, and get more people to join, and, things of that nature.
Of course, and that's the main thing I wanted to get across with Media the Minds too, is that anyone could be doing this. It's not just me. It's not just you, Star. It's not just NAACP. Anybody can be doing this. We could all be having these conversations. Mm-hmm. And these conversations need to be had no matter what level that you think that you're at or you are at. And if we can just come together in a like-minded space from our own experiences, we can, I believe we can at least see change. We can properly go about change instead of just hoping that the message gets spread around person to person, and person to person, the message gets skewed. People take what they want from it and preach that. But I feel like at least here, like you said, it is a safe haven. We can at least, be a little bit more open and less afraid to communicate our differences or how we're alike.
Yeah, that's very true. I was just going to add to, as far as what you're trying to do with buying the property in Los Angeles, there was this family of people in Georgia who bought I think it was 140 acres of land, mm-hmm. and they decided that they were going to build on that land for people, not just people of color, but people of like-minded, minds or whatever, so we all can have a safe place to live. And they have so far 19 families on the land. And I was like, me and my mom want to be the 20th family there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Where did they buy the property at? Was this the same people who bought the 19 acres? What was that, in Atlanta?
Yes.
Same people. Wow.
Yes.
Wow,
And I
that's
just think that's
amazing.
amazing. Right, exactly. And, we were just talking about that and everything. I'm like, it's people out there that's doing things, and it's getting, media attention. So we have to be doing our own thing and also, interconnect with them too.
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
and ideally, I would love to get in contact with them because that was such a power move on their part, and I feel like that's the first real beacon of like, yo, this is what we need to be doing. This is where we really need to be investing our time into. Because when that news broke, I was like, that was the smartest thing I've seen in positive news in a long time. Like, and now I'm hearing that they're trying to incorporate more like-minded people to live on the land as well. That I hope this starts a snowball effect. These people live here and start to, okay, well, let's form together and buy another 20 acres of land. Let's form together now and buy 40 acres of land, build our own theme park, and whatever, like whatever you see fit. But it's the aspect of just owning this land. It's not renting this land for the person you're renting it to raise it up out of control to then sell it to somebody else and revamp it when in reality you spent 10 years there. There was somebody I was talking to.
Mm.
There was somebody I was talking to, I believe it was in one of these meetings I was in, where they said that they were talking about gentrification. They were talking about how one of their clients came to them asking for help on a piece of property that they'd been doing, I believe it was hair out of, right? Very, very popular spot, but they were paying $7,000 a month
Dang.
to hold that spot in its location. And they paid that for, I believe it was like 20 years.
What?
Now, you rented a property for $7,000 a month for 20 years. And the reason why they were coming to said person was because their landlord was actually trying to raise it up even more. And to the point where they couldn't afford it anymore. And when you're in those situations, even if it's the ideal prime location, it gets to a point where you're spending more than 5, 6, 10 years at a location paying a ridiculous amount. You must be renting to own at that point. There is no more renting to make ends meet. If you set your mind to, I want this location, this spot, you need to go in with the mind state in negotiations or signing that lease or whatever of, hey, I want to option this to rent to own. And
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, that's you're just throwing money to the wind for a location. Locations can be changed any day. I see that every day working in Santa Monica. We got to make our assets that we are trying to acquire more valuable for the long term.
Right, exactly. I so definitely agree. For real.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yes. Let me
I'm
see.
happy that you are registered to vote. So that's a good thing because I know I did my mail-in ballot like last week. So
Yeah.
that's pretty
Like,
cool.
so you already sent in your vote?
Yeah, I did. I
Awesome.
did. And
Awesome.
then they sent me an email back and said we received it. I'm like, oh, cool.
All right. Look at
Yeah.
that. Look at that.
Yeah,
And
that's
also
dope.
PSA to the YouTube, to the Zoom, to the Instagram. I just want to reiterate, this isn't about telling you who to vote for. It's
No,
giving you the tools to vote efficiently and properly. And
exactly.
that's why I really want to get taken away from it. If all of this, if anything.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, 'cause you see what's going on in diversity in this whole voting thing. You got 50 Cent and what's his name, Ice Cube.
oh
They're
yeah.
doing different things, and what I'm saying, ruffling the people's feathers, and because it's like what you said. Nobody wants to be told who to vote for. We don't want to have to pick a side. Let me use my brain and pick who I want to vote for, even if it's
Right.
on the quote unquote opposing team.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. It's all about respect.
Let me ask you, Star. What did you think about the allegations with Ice Cube? So I didn't catch all of it, but it just seemed like he ended up becoming a pawn for the other team. And in reality, Ice Cube's whole agenda has been, we're not going to go through this election and get nothing. We're not just going to be promised everything in the world just to get our vote. I want action. We need results. And it appears that he tried to sit down with President Trump, and his words got skewed around, ended up getting banned again from CNN. But I wanted to get your take on it. What did you think of that whole entire situation, or what do you think of Ice Cube's stance?
Well, I watched the interview that he gave on CNN. He did receive a lot of backlash on, trying to talk to President Trump and everything, which he never got a chance to actually sit down and talk to him.
Right.
And so the interviewer, Chris, he asked him, he said, well, are you, basically, why are you on President Trump's side, and what he feels about Black Lives Matter, or the kind of statements that he has made about people of color, basically, and he said, well, it's not really about that or whatever. I'm here to have a voice just like everybody else. But my thing is, I think, I'm not gonna lie, but Ice Cube did it for the money. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he wants to make sure him and his camp is good. His family is good. If you're not doing things to make a change within the community, then what are you doing then? Except you just doing it for yourself. Because 50 Cent, at least 50 Cent didn't beat around the bush about why he's voting for Trump or he's a Trump supporter, because Ice Cube made it seem like, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm just going, he's the president. I'm going with whoever's in power. Really? Okay. So it's not about the money. That's not it. But 50 Cent said it's about the tax reform that Joe Biden put out. He said, this ain't helping me because 50 Cent is rich. These men have money. So it all boils down to that specifically, even if we look at the other team, okay, the Democrats, you see Joe Biden, who he talking to? Cardi B. As ignorant as she is when she speaks, correct? But he's trying to get that black vote going. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that. And I hate to say it, but some fans are sheeps. They just kind of, go with the flow. Think for yourself. Like, you want to be independent, Ice Cube, like you said, well, give us a mind of our own. Like, I'm doing this over here. You guys, you make your own decision or whatever, But I think that's what's going on, because when it all boils down to power, politics, music, and sports, those are the three hyped things that make the world go round, so to speak, especially like in America.
That's right.
So when you got all those three things going, baby, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing going on,
Yeah. I mean, who's taking the dollar? You know what I'm saying? It's about who's taking that dollar. And, the policies that both sides got they're both shady at the end of the day.
Thank you.
Like, I've heard things on both sides. I've heard, what's his name? Biden is doing 60% tax cuts if you make over $400,000. I mean, it's going to be interesting, no matter who ends up getting office, who y'all go with. But at the end of the day, we just got to make sure we're making the best decision for ourselves and for, our future, because who we select is inevitably going to dictate how America looks within the next 4 years. Fuck, 2 years, honestly. 2 years. This is important. We can have a clown in there for 4 more years. We can have a guy who seems like he's on the right page with the people in there for 4 years, but could be, backstabbing us in the back. But who knows?
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, the outcome is going to be it's gonna be a hell of a outcome. No? That's all I can say. No matter who wins, people are going to be upset and start some shit.
Yeah, people are gonna be upset no matter where the cookie crumbles.
Right.
And I, you know, yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna persevere, and hopefully, I can keep providing a little bit more voting information here in the next week or two to keep pushing
Definitely.
our agenda forward. But honestly, I don't have too much more to really bring to the table. And
Well, it was nice talking with this, this whole thing,
yeah, let me see. Let me. Is there anything I can reference back to in
Yeah.
this? Did I forget anything? Vote by mail, poll. We are 12 days, 6 hours, 19 minutes away from the election day on November 3rd.
Wow.
If you guys haven't already, where's the Zoom button? There we go. If you guys haven't already, please go register to vote. Please make sure your voice is heard in some way, sort, or fashion. That's probably one of the biggest takeaways I've gotten from all this, from the meeting of the minds, from these last few months of just going on this journey. Make your voice be heard by any means necessary. Make your point be realized and represented clearly and concisely as possible. Don't allow a narrative or don't allow other people's opinions sway and dictate on what you're really trying to say, even if you feel like you're the only one thinking or saying it, because those words hold some value. You know,
Exactly.
they do. They really do. They really do hold some value to somebody. You just got to keep and stay disciplined to see it bear fruit.
Yeah, totally.
You know. But again, that's all I got. I wanted to really, reiterate, we're looking for those investors. Please, 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 if you guys haven't already, go to our GoFundMe page. Now, donate $1, donate $2. Uh, we I am counting the donations from the Eventbrite from the first couple ones. So you guys are gonna see those on the page here in the next couple of days. But uh, please, please, please help us help you. Let us be the ship to guide you in if you feel like that you don't have a place or voice. That is again the purpose of all this. So yeah, there's that. Transfer wise, if you're interested in the foreign exchange market and you don't want to get caught up in the scams, you just want to skip all the middleman, transfer wise is for you. This is not an ad. I'm only trying to provide value and bring value to you guys. And lastly, again, make sure you're registered to vote. Uh, vote.org or registertovote.ca.gov if you're here in California. It breaks it down by your office. You can check by your driver's license. It's super efficient, super easy. It does not take long to do it all. So, Star, is there anything that you would like to say? Other than that, I think we can get a little outro going and send you all on the way.
Yeah, I'm good.
All righty. Then I would like to bid everyone adieu. Little shameless plug. I got a few things dropping this week. I got Donut Mix, a little mix I've been working on. I don't want to reveal too much off of that, just simply because I'm really trying to change the way music is released. That's the goal with this. I really don't want to profit a single penny off of this album. Well, not album, but mixtape.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna try a few new things with it, but it's gonna be worth the wait, and it's gonna be worth the experience of listening to it is more important to me than just listening to it. So that's my goal, and that's the presence I want to bring with this tape. And lastly, I got a couple little edits. Master Files 2 is coming out this week. For those who are big fans of my Call of Duty montages, I got a couple of those coming, and I may have a little tiny music video as well. You never know. You never know. Like I had a little couple things. But that's all I got. My camera's not turned back on, so I'm just gonna do an audio outro. Thank y'all so much for watching, listening. Wherever you are, just know that you're important and you got a voice just as much as me and the guy next to you. So
Amen.
use it with all your heart and passion. Allow other people's their little things to affect who you are and what you bring on a day-to-day basis. You are your own individual and you have to do what's best for you.
Exactly.
So that being said, I'm out of here. Thank y'all so much for coming out, and I hope you guys have a blessed night.
Peace.
Peace.